Hey guys, it's great to see you. I'm very excited to do my first Q&A of 2025. So it's been a little while since we've done one of these full Q&As, and they're just so much fun. It's always a pleasure to chat and to get to know each and every one of you. And you guys ready? Let's jump into it. So we have a lot of great questions here. I have them all written down, so don't mind me. I'm going to read each question to you, and then I will answer them. So the first one that we have is, when did you first start playing guitar? And that's an easy one. I started playing when I was 5 years old. My dad got me hooked on Gary Moore and Michael Schenker, to name a few. So I'd play along with the VHS videos back then. Ooh, that makes me feel old. But yep, so I played along with the videos, and then I didn't start taking lessons until I was 9 years old. So that's when I started studying with different guitar players. One of my favorites being Nick Morrock, amazing guitar player and session guitarist. But so yes, that's when I started playing. The second question is, when you're composing a song, is it a sit down and work at it till it's done, or built up over a period of time, something to go back to? Interesting to understand the songwriting process. I know each musician is different in their approach. So usually the music part comes to me quicker, and the lyrics usually I start to put together afterwards. Those have always been a little bit more challenging, but eventually it comes together. There are times when the song feels like it just writes itself and it all just feels right. There are other times when it's just that one little section that you're just stumped, and sometimes you just have to take a little break from it and walk away. There are other times when you're working on another song and you're working on parts, and it's like, wait a minute, that's the part I need for that other one that I was stuck on. So like sometimes you don't know when it's going to come to you, and it's not something you can really force. You just got to feel it, have fun, and it'll come to you. Some songs take years sometimes to find that one spot, that you need, and you just kind of got to set it to the side, and then it comes together. So I have a new song that it's not out yet, but it's called Sometimes, and I wrote that line, the original melody, which you guys will hear this year, and I wrote that on a looper pedal, and I never used it. It was probably 2009, I think, and I never did anything with it, but it was fun, and I was like, it was cool. And then years later, I was writing with my friend Rick Augusta, and that line, I showed him that line, and we just started playing around with it, and then lyrics started coming out with it, and yeah, it's amazing how that little idea sometimes will turn into something. So yeah, it depends on the song, whether it all comes together at once, but always keep those little recordings, because you never know, that little spark of an idea can really turn into something right. So always hang on to them. So the next question is, would you cover Motorhead, not Ace of Spades? I'll be honest, Motorhead isn't really a group I grew up on, so I will have to take a look at it and check them out, see what songs really resonate with me. Like I said, I grew up on a lot of those European 80s rockers, Schenker, UFO, Gary Moore, Scorpions, that kind of thing. So, it's a different style than I'm used to. But, let me know, is there a certain song in particular that you would want me to check out and maybe do a little video on? So definitely let me know. Hey guys, so I was going through the video and a whole section got lost, so I want to make sure I still get the answers in. So we have a little bit of a different location, and don't mind my bubble suit, I'm freezing. So let's get into it. The next question is, top 3 heaviest songs that get you pumped. I would say Walk by Pantera, Numb by Linkin Park, and Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. Those songs, I love working out to those. They just get you all pumped and ready to go. So I would say those. So the next question is, do you have a normal day job? So when I'm not doing music, I work with my husband. A couple years ago, we started a fragrance decant business called Perfume, PERFUUM.com. And fragrances has always been a big passion of mine. I've been collecting for years, and I reviewed for quite a few years as well. I took a little break, but I'm starting to get back into it. And it's really fun to share that passion with people. So we sell decants, so basically different sample sizes of many different fragrances, niche, designer, indie. So it's really fun, so definitely check it out. The next question we have, oh, I'm skipping ahead here, my eyes are terrible. Let's see, who's your favorite musician? That's an easy one, Gary Moore. He's the reason why I started playing. He's just one of those musicians that I've never seen someone play with so much heart and passion like he does. Like he just plays one note and you just feel it directly. It's like it penetrates your soul. It's amazing. Definitely check out Empty Rooms. That's definitely one of my favorite songs of his. That song will make you cry. Just warning you now. So moving on, we have, think you will ever do a show in Connecticut? It's been a while, but a couple years ago, I did one of my Mondial shows there. I had Gerardo Velez as my special guest, and it was really fun. It was at Infinity Music Hall. I think it was 2018, if I believe. It's on my website, so you can check it out. But that's Mondial 4, and it was really fun. The only part that was not on our side was the weather. So sadly, we didn't have as big of a crowd as we hoped, but it was still really fun. It snowed like crazy. I remember it was a big snowstorm that night, but we had a really great time anyway. And I got to meet Desiree Ragosa, awesome player and just very sweet as well, very talented. And she opened for us and she did an awesome show. And so that's how we met for the first time. It was really fun. So we ended up doing a Mondial 4 squared later that year to make up for that bad weather day. And we had a great time as well. So I will definitely be doing shows in Connecticut very soon. So the next question is, are you a good cook? What are your specialties? I think I'm decent. I think it's just something I need to do more. I just need to build my confidence and just get more consistent with it. But some of my favorite things to make is penne alla vodka. I love the Carmine's recipe. It's amazing. Definitely try it if you haven't. I love making, I'm kind of obsessed with Italian food. Can't really go wrong with that. So I've done chicken parm. That went pretty well. I love making shrimp francese. I've made that a couple times now. My friend Bill Edwards, who you probably have seen me do quite a few songs with, he's an amazing chef as well. So when we're not doing music, he's fattening me up with his delicious dinners and desserts. And yeah, his food is amazing. So he gave me that recipe for shrimp francese, and I love it. And then if I want to just do something kind of fun and casual, I love making sliders. My mom's recipe is amazing, so I can share the link if you guys like. And I love how it's easy to make, it's delicious and simple, and it's fast. So like you just throw it all together, you bake it, and it's awesome. Easy cleanup, and it's so good. And it's really fun if you're having guests over, so it's easy for entertaining. So yeah, I just gotta expand my horizons, but I think I'm pretty good. People seem to like my cooking. So the next question we have is, are you working on a CD? So for now, I'm releasing new songs, so new singles. This year, I'm really excited. I'm gonna have a bunch of new songs to release. During the lockdown, I started recording at home, so that was that was a good thing that came out of the craziness. So I got really into Pro Tools and stuff like that and put together my own little home studio. So I did a lot of writing with my friend Rick Augusta. So we had a really great time. So I have a bunch of songs I'll be releasing. One of my new songs, Call You Mine, is out now, and definitely check that out. Rick and I wrote that one. And yeah, I finally decided to release it into the world. My live music video has been out for a while, but this is my studio version. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So yeah, I have more songs in the works that will be released this year. So definitely keep an eye on out for that. And we'll see, maybe I'll end up making that an album after everything's released. You know, let me know what you guys think of that idea. So what else do we have? Okay, what are a few of your all-time favorite bands? Well, some you know, Gary Moore, UFO, Scorpions, but I listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers a lot. I've been really obsessed with them. I listen to them on Sirius quite a bit. I listen to Chris Stapleton a lot, Kenny Chesney, Keith Urban. I love a lot of those country guys. I love how they're rockers, but you know, as they say, right, closet rockers. I mean, it's really kind of what country's gone to, which I love. But I like some of the funky stuff too, like Marvin Gaye. You know, it depends really what I'm in the mood for. You know, if you ask me another day, that list might change. But you know, for right now, I'd say, yeah, keep the country guys. Josh Smith, I really like. He's awesome. So I'd say those are the ones I've been listening to the most lately. Yeah, so depends on what I'm in the mood for. So the next question is, what's the single most important thing for a novice guitar player to learn? I would say first, you want to make sure you know the fretboard, you know your notes, your scales, you know, your chords. You really want to get, you want to be able to know your way around the fretboard. So, you know, as you continue playing, you know, you're not thinking about that. You're not worrying where you got to go. You know, you want to have your notes memorized. But then I really would say that timing is super important. My second guitar teacher really drilled it into my head to practice with the click, and I still do. I need to get back into doing it more. I used to do it like every day when I was younger, and it never hurts to practice with it even later on. It's just so important. That's a tool, you know, a technique that you will always need for recording, playing live, whenever. So timing is so important. So I'd say those two things. And then, you know, a side note would be, you know, once you have that technique and you have your chords and all that good stuff, your picking, your timing, you know, don't forget to play with heart. And, you know, you always want to keep your heart and your passion in your playing. You know, sometimes I'll see players that are just so, you know, technical, and it's amazing, but I don't always feel something from them. So that's why I've always gravitated towards Gary Moore and Michael Schenker and Al Di Meola. He's so technical, but he's got a lot of feel and a lot of heart, and I love how he brings those things together. So definitely important to keep that in mind. So this next section is actually questions that I got in a really fun group that I'm part of called Guitar Social Club, and they're on Facebook, and they're great, very nice people, and so I've been having fun connecting with them. So I put my Q&A post up, and I got a couple questions, so this is for them. So thank you for having me. So the first one is, how long have you been playing on that sort of level? I know you started when you were a kid, but how long have you been performing? So I started playing out when I was 13 years old. In the questions before, you know, I said that I started playing when I was 9, but I didn't start really performing until I was 13. My parents started taking me to open mic jams, and I think they're really valuable when you're starting out, especially. One of my favorite jams was to play with the Upstart Blues Band at the Hyde Park Brewery, And we used to go every Wednesday. My parents would take me, I was a kid, so, it was so sweet that, everyone was very nice, and they all gave me the chance to play and to connect with people. So I really appreciated that. So I think it's really good to get you, comfortable performing in front of people. It gets you used to situations when they go right, when they go wrong, because it's going to happen. And it helps you get used to different personalities, So I think it's really great thing to do, And as you get older, you'll move on, you'll start your own band, get into another band. But I think when you're starting out, that's really great to have, a great experience to have. So then as I got older, let's see, I was still 13 actually. One of the first bands I played with was called the Joe Payne Band, and this is before, right, social media. So my dad responded to their ad, and they didn't know that I was a young girl. So when we showed up, they thought my dad was going to be the one auditioning. So no, I was the only white young girl in the group. So I go in, and right away they're like, really? Who is this? Right? So they're cracking up. They're like, all right, let's see if you have calluses. So they start checking my hand, and they're like, no way, she actually has them, So they're like, all right, let's play a few songs and see how it goes. And we played one, and they're like, oh, it's pretty good. Let's play another one. And I think we played like, maybe 2 or 3, something like that. And they're like, all right, we're not letting you go. And it was so cute. And it was like family, They were just really nice people. And it was really cool. It was already quite an age range. I think the youngest musician before I came in was maybe in his 20s. And then went up to probably like 60s or 70s. So it was really cool. It was quite a wide range of ages. Yeah, they're very sweet, and I really appreciate that they gave me the chance to start performing. And it was fun. We did like R&B kind of stuff, so I was happy. It was like playing with B.B. King or something. So it was so much fun. So then pretty soon after that, I started my own group, and I worked with a lot of different musicians. Being a musician, right, it takes time to find the right people to work with. So I worked with a lot of different players, but it was a great experience. And I remember one of the first shows was I played at the Chance Theater in Poughkeepsie. I was probably 14, 15, and I was so excited. It was just so much fun. I loved playing at that venue. Then a couple years later, I recorded my second album. I recorded that with Earl Slick producing it, and we had David Bowie's group, Sterling Campbell on drums, Galen Dorsey on bass, and then we also had the King's X guys, Jerry Gaskill on drums, and Doug Pinnick on bass, and it was such an honor to play with those guys. So that's my second album, Burning Sky, if you'd like to check it out. The third album I did was down in Nashville with Kenny Greenberg producing it. That was some of the best times of my life. So much fun. I loved performing with those guys. It was really a great time. A lot of great learning opportunities. So, yeah, I'm thankful to have worked with a lot of different people. And so that's how I started performing. So the next question is, other than rock, have you ventured into other areas like blues, jazz, or other? And I definitely, because I grew up on Gary Moore, I got into the blues thing pretty early on, but right, it was more rock blues, I guess. But I did take jazz for about a year or two. I think I was 17 years old. I studied with Steve Gravino, great jazz player, great guitar player, big teddy bear too. He was very sweet. And so he helped get me more into the theory kind of stuff, like learning the modes and the inversions and the altered modes. Sadly, because I am more of a rock player, some of that stuff I probably have to, brush up on again and review, like the altered modes, maybe here and there I'll throw it around, throw it in there. But, the modes and all inversions, right, that's something you use much more often. So it was a great learning experience, and although it's maybe not a style I use that much, there's still that knowledge that you can apply to playing, anytime. So that was really fun. I'm glad I did that. In 2009, I played at the James Burton Guitar Festival, and I met Albert Lee. And when I saw him play, I was like, oh my God, I want to be able to play like that. So I don't know if I play like that, but I started getting into more of that chicken picking style. So I definitely took some of that and tried to incorporate it into my style. And yeah, I like the funk stuff too. I like a lot of different styles. I don't want to just do one thing. I want to take little bits and make it my own. So it's really fun. So the next question, what is the best advice you would give to a complete beginner so they can start and continue with their hobby? So that kind of ties into like what I was just saying, where, find guitar players that you really resonate with, all different styles, and take, really study them, really get into their mindset, figure out why they play the way they do, get into their feel, and over time, that will help take you to the next level, and it'll help inspire you, and you'll be able to take those styles and make your own with it. So I think that's, when I was growing up and taking lessons with people, I feel that I developed my own style by doing that, by, really studying my favorite players, and it kind of ingrains into you and becomes your own thing over time. So that's what I would recommend. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is the last question. So it's kind of a cute one. Where do you get all your energy from? That's connecting with the crowd. There's nothing better than performing live and having fun, and and when the group is right, having that chemistry. And so I would say that's where that comes from. And it's amazing how even if like you don't feel well or something, it gives you all this energy. It's like a rush of energy, and like you don't feel anything that you were feeling before. I remember seeing an interview of Albert Collins talking about that years ago. He's like, it gives it gets rid of all that tiredness you had. And I was like, huh? Like I was a kid and I didn't really get it. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, okay, I see what he's saying now. So yeah, it is amazing how much performing will just give you that energy. So once again, thank you for having me, Guitar Social Club. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. So moving on, we have a couple more questions. What is your favorite guitar pickup and guitar? So that's easy. My custom Epiphone Vs, I love them. I play my white Epi all the time. Even I love my flag one as well. But I have to say, I play my Hamer Telly almost every day, especially for studio stuff. I play that all the time. So if you're not seeing me play my Epi Vs, you're seeing that Hamer Telly. And I'm excited. I just got a 335 59 reissue Murphy Lab. I got it on Reverb, so I'm really excited to break that guy out. He might become another favorite. We'll see. So, yep, that just came in the mail today, so I'm excited. And then, for pickups, I use the Seymour Duncan SD1 and SD6. I use those in all my Epiphones and Gibsons and such, all my Vs. So I love how they just have a really rich tone to them. They're very punchy, very dynamic, a lot of sustain. I love them. You're looking for that kind of more that Gary Moore, Schenker kind of thing, definitely check those out. So the next question, this is a tough one. If before a big show, about 2 minutes before showtime, suddenly your pedal board exploded, nothing survives, and you only have your main amp, would you still be able to do the whole show plugged straight into the amp, no pedals whatsoever? Man, I really hope that doesn't happen. That would be very sad. But so for the THD, that'd probably be tough. So I have a THD Flexi 50 that I use live. I've been using it for years, but by itself, it's actually pretty clean. So it's got a lot of headroom, but it is very clean. So I do get most of my gain from my BB Plus pedal by Exotic. And so I'd kind of have to do what I got to do on that one, but that one might be tougher. But I have another amp that I've been pretty obsessed with, the Mattress Independence. And that has a completely different gain stage setup where you get most of your punch and your drive from the amp itself. So, and then you use the drives as boosts. So if the pedal board did go, heaven forbid, that I probably could get away with just using that. So hopefully that won't have to happen because I love my pedals, as you know. But yeah, so the THD, I think I would be having some trouble because it's very clean. Mattress Independence, I actually probably could get away with that by itself if I need to. And that ties into the last question I forgot to write down, but I saw someone commented in that in one of the groups I posted, and he was basically asking what my go-to pedals are for live. And like I said, I have 2 rig setups, so for my THD, I use my BB Plus Overdrive by Exotic, and I love that pedal. That's my main distortion. I've been using that for a really long time, but I'd say that, my Dualist Overdrive by Kingtone, I'd say those are my 2 go-to drives, if that's what he's asking specifically. I'm really hooked on the LVX by Maris for delay. I guess if I could only use, one go-to delay, I'd probably use that, because that has pretty much everything you could want on there. So yeah, I would say that's my go-to for drives. I'd say those are my go-to. For my Tonex setup or Mattress Independence, I'm using the same captures on my Tonex. That's really different. I do a compressor. So for my live rig right now, I have the Bloom from Jackson Audio. So I have that, as I have the EQ on that, the compressor, and the boost all on, and that's an always on. And then I have that going into usually my Prince of Tone. I love that. I love that combo. So that's my bass tone all the time on my live rig for now, even though I think I might end up changing it. But then for my new studio rig, I have the Cali 76 compressor as an always on, the Prickly Pear as an always on. That's by Tone Ranger. And then usually, again, I go to the King of Tone that I have on that. Those, I would say, are my go-tos. But I also have the Dualist on there too that I use quite a bit. So if I could only pick a couple, I'd say those. And then that is where my LVX is now, along with, I love the H90 for delay also and modulation. So I would say I love those so much. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be throwing more of those. I got another set of those to go on the live rig. So I'm going to have the H90, LVX, and Mercury 10 on the live rig as well, because it sounds amazing. But I do love my Strymons. I have those on my live rig right now. So right now, for my Wet Effects, I have Synesthesia, Timeline, and my Big Sky. So, which I love. I love the ease of use, and they do sound great, but I really want to go all out. So I'm getting the Maris and the Maris I, the Marises, and the H90 from Eventide. So hopefully that wasn't too long of an answer, but I love the gear, as you can tell. So once again, thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed doing this Q&A. It's just so much fun chatting with you guys, and let me know. I loved hearing how you guys got into playing, who your influences are, what kind of gear you're using. So definitely let me know, and I look forward to doing another Q&A very soon. Have a great day, guys.